Welcome back to the show. Jack Scalfani here, and you're cooking with Jack. Can you say Cafe Americano? Better yet, can you say Venti Cafe Americano with 6 Splenda and cream, stir to the left? I always tell them that. Stir to the left. My buddy Paul does that all the time. They're like, stir to the left. They do it though. It cracks me up. Whatever you tell Starbucks, they'll do. You could say, stand on your left leg and stir to the left, and they do it. All right. It's our Breakfast of Champions show, and we're going to get into it. I'm going to give you tips on everything. This is part 1. We're going to be doing bacon, eggs, hash browns, and toast, okay? I'm going to give you a tip on every part of this breakfast. It's going to be really cool. But before we do that, some of you wrote in, ironically, out of nowhere. I've been doing this show for like 3 years, and you guys made comments that I look like Billy Joel. Well, I hadn't seen Billy Joel in a while, so I'm like, Billy Joel? I look nothing like Billy Joel. Well, I'm thinking like Billy Joel from like the 80s, you know. So I pulled up Billy Joel's picture, and I'm like, okay, all right. I could see, you know, maybe. But more than that, I think I look more like Al from Toy Story. Al's Toy Barn. Yep, that's me. That looks way more like me. In a more relaxed position, too. So, anyway, whether you think I look like Billy Joel or you think I look like Al from Al's Toy Barn, I just hope you enjoy the show. I don't care who I look like. Let's get some breakfast going here. And, are you looking, you looking at this box over here? Oh, you want to know what this box is for? Oh, okay, hang on a minute. I didn't realize you look around my kitchen while I'm doing the show. So let's bring this box over here. I'm going to talk about something real quick before we get into this. This box here came from Crown Blue Bison. That's right. Crown Country. CrownCountry.com. They just shipped this to me. This is one of our future upcoming episodes. Check this out. They sent me bison. And if you don't know what bison is, bison's buffalo. And they packed it. I mean, they packed it. Look at this. It was just a couple pounds, but they put it in like dry ice. And this is like, these are like seat cushions in the aluminum foil. This is just crazy. Anyway, they put it in a box like that with big chunks of dry ice. It was so cool. And it shipped frozen. Oops, sorry. Shipped frozen for like 3 days. It even says perishable on it. So that's an upcoming episode. Let me get that out of the way here. There. Now you won't be distracted. So we're going to be doing a bison episode. I've never had bison. It's going to be cool. All right? But right now, let's take care of Breakfast of Champions. Let's bring you in close, start talking about all the tips on how to make bacon, eggs, and hash browns. Okay, most of you know what bacon looks like in the package. There you go. Now, when you buy bacon, most of you just throw it in the freezer until you're ready to use it. Okay? Here's a tip. Take your bacon. It's going to be crazy. Because you know how like the slices are like really hard to separate? And if you freeze it and then defrost it and try and take the slices apart, they stick together. It's just crazy. So take your bacon, okay? Literally roll it like that. If you roll it and then freeze it, okay? When you defrost it and you unroll it, what's going to happen is all the slices are going to have separations. Because what you're doing is you're stretching out the bacon, but when you bring it back together again, it's like coming together and the slices will separate, okay? Tip number 2. Okay, the one problem with bacon is when it cooks, it gets all ripply and crinkled up and starts flipping in the pan on its own and all that stuff. I like flat bacon. Here's a tip to keep your bacon flat, okay? Now, one thing you can do, you can cut this down the middle and make smaller pieces, and it won't curl as much, but I'm not a big fan of that. So what I do is I just take a fork, don't poke your hand, poke a whole bunch of holes in the bacon, okay? This allows the buildup underneath the bacon to pass through the bacon and not cause it to ripple. So put like a bunch of holes. There. Now, when you cook that, it's going to be a lot flatter than normal bacon, okay? Okay, as you can hear in the background, I got the bacon sizzling. I'm going to show you how that looks. But right now, let's talk about hash browns. You want to know why hash browns turn mushy and gray when you make them at home? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Here's a tip. they oxidize. That's right. You peel them, they start to turn gray or pink or orange or just, they get really weird. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna peel these and then you're gonna shred them and then you're gonna take a bowl of cold water. I'm gonna fill this up with cold water and you're gonna put them in there in cold water, okay? Let me show you how that looks. You wanna peel it, then you're gonna go ahead and make your hash browns. Okay, there's your hash browns. Immediately throw those into the cold water. Okay? And you see all this white stuff? That's all starch, and that doesn't help either. So putting them in water right now is going to help soak the starch out of them too. I mean, not really soak it out, but it'll wash them out. So we want to get rid of that. And then leave those in the water for a little bit until you're ready to cook them up, okay? Now while those are soaking, I'm going to bring the bacon over and show you how beautiful the bacon came out. Look how beautiful the bacon came out. Look how flat. Look at it. I like mine crispy, but even if you don't, look how flat the pieces are. Isn't that beautiful? There's the bacon right there. Now don't throw out the bacon grease from this. Leave it in the pan because we're going to fry the hash browns in that. Or you can use butter or you can use cooking spray, okay? Now it's time to do the hash browns. This has got to be done right away. When I pull this out, I'm going to put the hash browns on the towel. I'm going to roll it in the towel. I'm going to try and squeeze out as much of the moisture as possible. Then I'm going to unroll it, and then I'm going to take my hash browns and I'm going to put them in the pan. Okay? So let's do that right now. See how much water already came out of the hash browns? I'll squeeze that over the sink. As you can see, I saved the bacon grease. It's in this pan. I'm going to heat that up. Once again, you don't have to use the bacon grease if you feel that that's gross in some way, you don't like it. But I know that's where all the flavor is. So I'm going to cook my hash browns in that. All right, so let's take a big grip. Oh, they're pretty dry. We're going to drop those in there right now. Okay. There we go. Make sure your hands are washed. Anytime you're handling food, wash your hands. Okay. Gonna press that down right like that. We're gonna see how this turns out. See if I can get a good flip on this. Come on, flip for me. Ah, look at that. Sweet. Hey, it's working. And that thing's just gonna slide right on our plate. It's gonna be beautiful. There you go. Okay, time to do eggs. You can use butter or you can use cooking spray. I prefer cooking spray. No reason. Drop your eggs in. Huck the shells across the kitchen and hope they land in the sink. There you go. Beautiful. All right, keep separating your eggs. Making sure they're on their own. See how they're kind of moving around on their own already? See that? Don't ever go near the yolk, but you see, non-stick pans are great because these things start moving on their own. You can even move, look, you can even swirl it around. Keep them moving, it's always good too. This way they don't stick to the pan at any moment. Okay, now here's a big tip. Ready? Listen up carefully. When you flip your eggs, okay, once you're done flipping them, you're going to go start the toast in the toaster. But let's get these flipped first. I always put my spatula right at the end, and I lean just a little bit. Not a lot to where I lose my other egg, but lean just a little bit so I can get under that egg and give it a little flip. Same thing with that. Tip and flip. Okay, just tip the pan a little bit. Now here's another tip I use. You guys may not want to use this tip. I turn the flame off. Don't want to overcook my eggs. By the time my toast is done, these should be okay. You don't need any more heat. Got enough heat in the pan. Okay? Before we bring out the breakfast and show you the final product, I want to give you one more tip. Most people who are watching their weight or don't go with the hash browns or the toast will ask for sliced tomatoes. Here's what you do. Take cherry tomatoes and slice them in half if you're at home, okay? Don't use whole tomatoes. They don't have as much flavor as cherry tomatoes. These have a beautiful sweetness, even the ones at the store. So take some cherry tomato, take like 4 cherry tomatoes, slice them in half, okay? Salt and pepper these and lay them on the plate. And wow, what a combination along with the other stuff. It's gonna be beautiful. Try it out. There it is, right there. Beautiful. Once again, roll your bacon in the freezer before you defrost it. It'll come out separate every time. Fork your bacon. It keeps it flat. All right, with the hash browns, soak them in cold water till you're ready to cook them. They won't turn gray and brown. They'll be nice and golden brown, just like this. Add some cherry tomatoes for flavor. It's absolutely amazing. And don't forget, when you flip your eggs, start your toast in the toaster. When these get put on the plate, these will be done. Wow, that was pretty easy, huh? Did you follow along? All right, so there it is. Breakfast of Champions. It looks so good. Oh, these cherry tomatoes are screaming at me. Delicious. All right, it's time for me to have breakfast. I'll see you on the next episode of Cooking with Jack. Take care.